What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Your boy Dread is back with an episode of Wrestle Talk, and I'm here to review none other than WrestleMania 32. Now, I meant to make a prediction video of what I think was going to happen, but it time got away from me because WrestleMania came on so fast this year, and I haven't really been paying attention to Raw like that. I mean, because of my hectic work schedule. Because yes, contrary to me making YouTube videos, I do have a life outside of it. But yeah, lately I've only been catching like maybe the last 10 to 15 minutes of Raw. I haven't really been watching the show from beginning to end, just highlights in the last 10 to 15 minutes. But this year's WrestleMania, I mean, because every time I make a prediction video, I have what I hope to see, and I have what I expect to see. Now, I'm going to give you guys my what I predicted, and the result of the match as I go along with the review. But this year's WrestleMania, people didn't really expect much because of the booking, the predictable ending to matches, which I'll get into later, and with most of the active roster being either retired or injured reserve. Daniel Bryan, retired. Sting, retired. Randy Orton, injured reserve. Seth Rollins, injured reserve. Cesaro, injured reserve. And one of the things that I'll get into also later was the surprise returns. A couple things that we didn't really expect to see. Like I said, I'll get into that later. But anyway, when I give you guys my review, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible because unlike most people in the internet wrestling community, I am an optimist. I'm not going to point out everything that I thought was wrong with it. Instead, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to point out everything that is right with it, everything I liked about it. Now, I'm going to, instead of being too nitpicky, I am going to throw in a couple things that I didn't like, but other than that, I'm just going to tell you guys what I thought about it straight up. All right, now, I'm not going to give you guys the pre-show match as well. Let's see. Kalisto defeated Ryback. Team Total Divas defeated Team Bad, and the Usos beat the Dudleys, which I expected. Now, I predicted the Usos to go over. I was right. I predicted Ryback to go over. I was wrong, and I didn't really care too much about the Divas match. But anyway, the opening match, the ladder match. Now, I predicted that Kevin Owens would win this and retain because I thought it would make the most sense. But the Intercontinental Division is shaping up to be, it's shaping up to get a little bit more exciting because, well, Zack Ryder, who's returning, to the main roster, he actually won this match. Now, this ladder match, I mean, compared to other past WrestleMania ladder matches, it wasn't as good as that. I personally think that the best WrestleMania ladder match for a title or titles probably the tag team match, the Triple Threat Tornado tag match at WrestleMania 17 with Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys. And my other one was WrestleMania 23 with Mr. Kennedy winning that match. But yeah, anyway, I'm not going to be talking about past WrestleMania. Yeah, there was a couple of good spots in this match. I mean, of course, you're going to get some high flying spots. You're going to get people crashing through ladders. You're going to get a couple, hardcore type of spots. People using ladders as weapons and everything. But yeah, this match, I will probably overall rate this match a 6 out of 10. But yeah, Zack Ryder he won this match, but let's be real. I don't expect Zack Ryder to keep this title for longer than a month. It'll probably be back on Kevin Owens. It'll probably be on another face, but we'll see. Chris Jericho and AJ Styles. Now, I predicted Jericho to go over in this match because it is WrestleMania. He made a point to AJ Styles that, well, you beat me before, but you haven't beaten me on a stage like this, and you've never been on a WrestleMania type stage, which I don't know how true that is. But yeah, anyway, I predicted Jericho to go over, and I was right. The match, I mean, I expected a few more high-flying spots in this match, but it wasn't really a snore fest. It was just a average match. It was just a regular, technically sound match. And the thing is, I mean, what I liked about this match is the same thing that I hated about it. Is like this kind of match, you could have took this match and then just put it on any house show, any Raw, SmackDown episode, or any pay-per-view, and you would have got the same thing. It's nothing special about it. And that's the thing is, that's how I think a lot of people are going to feel about this WrestleMania pay-per-view in general. You could take every single match on this card and apply it to any other pay-per-view of the year, and you'll still get the same feel from it. It felt like just a regular pay-per-view instead of a WrestleMania type of pay-per-view. And that's pretty much what everybody's going to be talking about. But anyway, yeah, I was right about Jericho going over. The League of Nations defeating the New Day. I was right about the New Day job into the League of Nations. I was right about the League of Nations going over. The match itself was pretty decent for a 6-man tag team match. It wasn't. It was a couple of miscues, a couple of spots were kind of sloppy. But other than that, the wrestling was okay. Couple of good spots, and yeah, the antics, of the New Day is the reason why you watch the match in the first place. They came out in a gigantic box of Booty-O cereal, and they came out dressed like the Ginyu Force from Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, that's one of the high points of the match. But other than that, the overall match is all right. But that's not why you watch this match. That's not why this match was entertaining to you. It's what followed that was entertaining. Because King Bear got on the mic and says there's no 3 men alive that can stand up with the League of Nations. And in this order, Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Bang Bang, Cactus Jack, and Stone Cold Steve Austin all came down there and opened up a can of whoop ass on the League of Nations. And just when the New Day tried to get in there for a celebratory dance, Stone Cold Steve Austin stunned him, and then they proceeded to drink beer. Yeah. And anyway, now Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. I predicted Dean Ambrose. I predicted Dean Ambrose to go over. I was like, man, this is probably going to be the upset of the night. And it was a couple of hard. I expected blood in this match, but and I expected more outside things. I expected them to go backstage, expected them to go in the parking lot, fighting the crowd. We didn't get any of that, so it was just like a regular hardcore match without all the street fighting stuff. I expected like a Mick Foley and Rock type ending where, you know, the Rock, where where Mick Foley like lowered a crate of things on him when he was on the forklift. I expected that kind of ending for this match, but yeah. Other than that, it was all right. They got a little bit hardcore with the chairs. They got a little bit dirty with the fighting, and Brock Lesnar landed, I believe, 15 suplexes in this match. He took him to Suplex City, of course. But yeah, the end of the match ended with Dean Ambrose getting F5 into a pile of chairs. 1, 2, 3. But at least he was able to get up and walk after the match, I think. But the thing is, with Brock Lesnar, what's next for Brock Lesnar? What else can he do besides get back in the title picture? He either needs to get back in the title picture or retire because there's no person in singles competition who can really beat him. Next was the Triple Threat Divas match with Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch. And it's rare that I say this about, not to sound sexist or anything, but it's rare that I say this about a women's match, but this match was actually in my top 3 matches of the night. For a women's match, this was a 5-star match. And I did expect, I expected Sasha Banks to go over in this match. I don't know why, I just had a feeling. She was actually my favorite to go into this match to win. But Charlotte retained. Well, actually got a new WWE Women's title, which looks amazing, by the way. But yeah, this match, it wasn't sloppily wrestled at all for a women's match. Like I said, not to sound sexist, but yeah, there was quite a few good spots, good technical wrestling, a good exchange. Neither of the 3 girls had to carry each other. They all kind of carried an equal amount of effort in the match, and they all looked good doing it. So yeah, so I'll give them 5 out of 5 stars for their match. But yeah, I wonder what's next in the women's division because I believe sooner or later that Sasha Banks is going to get her hands on that women's title, but we'll see. Now for the match of the night, in which should have been the closer for this pay-per-view. The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. Now, they had to bring Shane McMahon back into the fray, because John Cena is injured and he's not coming back, for a couple of more months, but I'll get to that later. But, yeah, and they have to not only, bring him back just for nothing, but they have to put him in a match with some really high stakes. He wanted to control the WWE, so Vince decided to put him in a match with The Undertaker. And if Shane wins, he gets control of the company, and The Undertaker is no longer allowed to compete at WrestleMania for the rest of his career, which I don't know how much longer that's going to be because I believe he's only got like 2 or 3 more years left in it anyway, but we'll see. But overall, this match, everybody expected this match to be not that technically sound, but everybody expected it to be a brawl and a spot fest, which is what it was because Shane McMahon's not really the most technically sound, wrestler. He's not an HBK. He's not a Kurt Angle. He's not none of those guys. But what he lacks in technical wrestling skill, he makes up for it for, being a daredevil and putting his body on the line with his amazing spots and, what he's willing to go through just to entertain everybody. I like his interest the most out of everybody's too. It was him and his sons out. He bought his 3 sons out and those WrestleMania $32 bills. Oh yeah, by the way, I gotta give you some of those Jay-Z got. But yeah, this match, I will give this match a 4 out of 5 stars for this one. I mean, because both men did pretty good. I mean, there was a couple of dry spots in the match, but the big spots, are what made up for that. The only thing that I would like to see more is a little bit more foreign objects. Oh, so what? The steel chairs weren't enough, and the cage wasn't enough. Nah, I mean, well, I would like to see more chairs, but I mean, come on, there was a toolbox used, steel stuff, slamming in the cage, and I also would like to see a little bit of blood too. But oh well, I mean, this is supposed to be PG era WWE. And Shane by far had the best spot of the night, falling 25 feet off the Hell in a Cell. And I don't know if this is planned or not, but the Undertaker, he did roll out of the way at the last minute. And when he looked at Shane's crumpled body over the on the announce table, he was like, "Oh my God!" He's like he had that deer in the headlights look like he almost just escaped death, and I believe he did. But yeah, Shane he ended up jobbing the Taker. Taker got the win, 1, 2, 3. But the only thing is, like, I know this ain't going to just be. I hope this ain't just a one night thing. I hope this not. I hope they don't just cast Shane aside. I really hope there is a deeper storyline to this, and to make it where this is just not just another match. I hope that they WWE does utilize something out of this, because it's obvious Shane's not going to be on TV for at least another couple more weeks. But yeah, I give that match 4 out of 5 stars. Now, the battle, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, I didn't really even bother picking a winner for that one. But yeah, I'll just save you guys the details. Baron Corbin won. Of course, you had the big man stare down between Shaquille O'Neal, who was a surprise entry, and you had Kane doing a stare down because he Kane, Big Show, and Shaquille O'Neal all did a big man stare down, and they all got eliminated by the majority of the people who were in the match. You know what? I actually expected Cesaro to make his return tonight in the Battle Royal match, but yeah, that didn't happen. Maybe he'll be back at the next pay-per-view or sometime in the near future. Let's hopefully he will be. But this is a good look for Baron Corbin. I mean, because they're trying to push more NXT guys. What better way than for him to win on win a match like this on a grand stage like WrestleMania? So yeah, good for Baron Corbin. Now, The Rock. Everybody knew that The Rock was going to make some sort of WrestleMania appearance like he always does. Now, me personally, I knew that he was coming to WrestleMania, but I didn't know what he was going to do. But I thought he was just going to cut like a quick 5-minute promo, tell some jokes, and then bounce out. Or, I didn't expect him to have a full match, if you can even call it a full match. But yeah, the Wyatt family came out and interrupted The Rock's speech. He said that The Rock said that WWE has broken their attendance record of 100,000 plus people. So yeah, and Bray Wyatt felt the need to come out and interrupt The Rock, and The Rock challenged one of the Wyatts to a match, and it was Eric Rowan, which he rock bottomed and pinned in 6 seconds. And just as the Wyatt family was about to jump The Rock, um, the special guest John Cena, yeah, John Cena, he came out to assist The Rock. And that's something that I really did not expect. And I think that they said that John Cena hinted that he'll be back in 2 more months. Me personally, I didn't think he was going to come back to SummerSlam, and I personally don't think that he should come back until SummerSlam. So that way he's 100% ready to go, and they can actually have a storyline set in place for him. But we'll see. And we might see The Rock at WrestleMania next year in a match. The Rock against Bray Wyatt? Hell, set it up. Now, for the underwhelming match of the night, especially, like I said, I don't think this match should have been the main event, but it was decent. Roman Reigns versus Triple H. Now, the only thing that everybody hated about this match was how predictable the outcome was. But the thing is, like, you really didn't have any other choice, because it's like, okay, if Triple H goes over, then what? Where do they go from there? Because all of Roman Reigns' journey to the title, it always ended up in a dirty finish, or it ended up with him being screwed over. So that's really the only logical outcome that can happen, because it wouldn't make sense for Triple H to win. And the thing is, like, hopefully Roman Reigns gets some kind of respect now, because it seemed like the thing is I hate about the crowd is, like, they were kind of forcing themselves to boo Roman Reigns, and I didn't really like that. But the match was not as good as I expected it to be. I expected it to be a little bit better, but the match wasn't all that good. I mean, it was good enough to hold your attention, but it wasn't a 5-star match at all. I mean, there was a couple of good spots, with Triple H bringing out a sledgehammer, to hit Roman Reigns, even though he missed. You had Roman Reigns spearing Triple H through the barricade. You had his Superman punches. You had Roman Reigns spearing Stephanie McMahon by mistake. But yeah, and with him ending with the spear and a Superman punch. But overall, that match was decent. Now, as far as my overall grade for the pay per view, for me, the guest appearances are what made this match, what made this pay per view, watchable. Well, not even watchable. It made it, a little bit more exciting because it's always the surprise returns that gets people amped up for WrestleMania. The matches themselves were decent, but like I said, the only thing about this year's WrestleMania is it didn't feel like WrestleMania. You could have put this on any other card. You could put all these matches for all these titles on any other card, and it would have been the same thing. It just didn't feel like it felt like a regular pay per view. It didn't feel like a WrestleMania. But overall, I would give this WrestleMania a 7.2 out of 10. So that's a C plus territory for everybody who's keeping score at home. But anyway, for all my wrestling fans, what did you think of this match? What did you think of this pay per view? What are your top 3 matches of the night? What was the spot of the night, and who you think deserves the MVP? My top 3 matches of the night in this order had to be Charlotte versus Becky. Charlotte versus Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. The ladder match, and Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. The spot of the night obviously goes to Shane McMahon for his leaping face off the cage. And the MVP of the night, I'm going to have to say, just for shock value and surprise alone, I'm going to have to say that The Rock was the MVP of the night for this year's WrestleMania. But anyway, I'll be back with another video, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be back soon. Peace.